Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Daniel Umstead, host of the RNG radio show. As you can see, realtor extraordinaire. Now, a few people know me, so if you're watching this, you're like, oh my gosh, he really is famous. That was probably a long time ago. But anyway, I came to you today because I wanted to give you some tidbits as far as, going through the housing process and all that, because I do get this very, very frequently. I even learned my lesson from doing this as well frequently. So, earnest money deposit. Now, earnest money, that means that, to show your seriousness. So a lot of people think, well, aren't I showing my seriousness for the closing costs? Well, earnest money is pretty much getting them started. You know how some people's like, hey, if you get the job done, we'll pay you half now, half later. And it's nothing like that as far as doing that amount for the closing costs. It's just that you're pretty much letting the seller know, hey, I'm interested. I'm letting you know that I'm interested. Here's my money to show that I'm interested. So let's say, and I'm just throwing this number out here, your earnest money deposit will be something that you actually get back as well, but it will be format of a credit. So let's say you put down a $2,000 earnest money deposit on a home. Then come the closing costs, they say, oh, your closing cost is $10,000 minus the $2,000 that you put down. So that's part of the deposit. Now, most folks are like, well, how can I get out of the earnest money deposit, or do I have to put down a needed amount? For those that actually do wholesaling, sometimes I've heard they just put down $1 or maybe $25, and then in addition, that money is actually not even given until the contract is actually canceled. So there's different things to be put in for the earnest money deposit. Now, the other thing that you want to be aware of is like, well, why would you put an earnest money deposit down? Outside of me just saying how serious I am. Sorry about that. So the other thing about earnest money deposit is for contingencies. There may be something going on with the house that needs to get done. So this earnest money is pretty much just saying, hey, I'm putting this down so that way I know that this is going to be taken care of before we even get to the closing table. And that allows you to get your money back, especially if, like, let's say there's a hole in the roof, this big gaping hole in the roof, and they've just been using blue tarp up there to cover up their mess. And it's like, well, who's actually going to get this done? So your earnest money deposit is pretty much the same. Hey, here's $2,000. I'm serious about this house, but you need to fix this. Now, contingencies can range from here, there, and everywhere, but what I would recommend doing is speak with your realtor, or depending upon the state that you're in, speak with an attorney in regards to what can be classified as a legal contingency, because you don't want to go up in there and say like, well, listen, this needs to get done, that needs to get done, and then by the time the closing cost, or let's say you're not able to close on the house because something didn't get done, there could be ways around where the seller keeps that money. So make sure that you got your ducks in a row when it does come to that. So, and there's things such as, home inspection, maybe there's something in addition that both of y'all weren't aware about, even though the seller may have put on the property disclosure form like, hey, this needs to get done, that needs to get done, and this needs to get done. And all of a sudden there might be 2 holes in the roof, if you will. So you just want to make sure that when you are putting money out as far as security, make sure you're finding ways on how to get that money back. Make sure you're looking at ways to ensure that when you are putting that money in, that it will be used towards the closing costs, and that there's not something that's going to be flying up out of nowhere. It's like, well, technically that money was only used towards the purchase price of the house. So it's like, wait, no, this money was supposed to be used towards the closing costs if anything doesn't go through. So I want to say this as far as protection for you, because it does happen in real estate where one side says one thing, the other side says the other, and then when they come to the closing table, it's like, oh, I wasn't aware about this. So make sure you do your homework in regards to that. And if you got any questions, hit me up, 267-702-3756. Thanks again, and I'll talk to y'all soon.